There you go, going wild quietly.
I think we'll have a bit of screaming later on in the programme.
One of the men who was abused as a boy by a head teacher in Suffolk has been telling Look East about the terrible effect it's had on his life. Last month, Derek Slade was jailed for 21 years for abusing boys in his care.
Russell White, who's now 40, says he believes the system needs to change and he's worried that other children could still suffer. This report from Kevin Birch.
The complete heal won't be to the day I'm buried. This will always stay in my mind, this will always stay with me, and I'm sure it will stay with everyone else that's been to the school and been through exactly what we've been through. Until the day you're pushing your grave, the day it will stop. You'll carry this for the rest of your life. There's no way of getting around it.
The bulk of Derek Slade's victims, and there were many, have remained anonymous. But Russell White has chosen to speak out about the beatings, the abuse and the torment which still haunts him 30 years on. Russell went to the school run by Slade in 1980. He was 10 at the time. Soon he was writing letters home, begging to be taken out. Today he lives in Haverhill and works in Cambridge. He's married with 2 children and is desperate to see procedures tightened across the board. Could it happen again today?
Yes.
You have no doubt of that?
No doubt. But it could happen. It is happening.
Despite all the safeguards we supposedly now have in place?
There isn't enough safeguards. The checks on teachers with CRB, for example, they're not sufficient. If they were sufficient, you wouldn't be getting teachers going now. We see so many stories on the press about teachers downloading child pornography, getting caught on their computers. How can these people get through this system? This system needs to be rethought. A lot more checks need to be done. Parents need to be able to go onto the internet and look the background up of a teacher. The police need to double check to make sure that the person that's signing the form saying they're now a teacher is actually that person. He has the qualifications. He should be doing this job. No child should be put in a room with someone that hasn't been checked properly.
Lobbying for change is one goal. Another is to get compensation for the victims. The legal campaign for that is already well underway. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East.
Now, yesterday on the programme we told you about a new smoking rule that a council in Norfolk are proposing.
Staff at Breckland Council could be required to clock off when they leave their desks and then clock on again after their cigarette. Lots of you got in touch. With the details, here's Catherine Nash.
Thanks, Stuart. Well, we've had a large response with the majority in favour of Breckland Council's scheme. Elizabeth Dashwood Smythe from Hertfordshire emailed us to say she wondered when bosses would finally realise that smokers were getting extra breaks to have a cigarette. She says for the time it takes for a smoker to leave their desk and light up, it could easily amount to 20 minutes. She goes on to say she's not surprised that bosses have put their foot down. David Robson from Colchester had a similar thought. He says, I think it's a perfectly sound idea to clock smokers in and out. If a smoker can't exist until their break time, tough. Jim Bly also got in touch with us. He says he's worked for a company where a room was designed for smokers, with colleagues visiting the room for at least 5 minutes every hour. He says it's unfair to all non-smokers to have to cover their colleagues who are not at their desk, and the company suffers. We did, however, receive an email from a viewer who was against the idea. Mrs. Amy from Bedford says, I'm a smoker and I feel this is disgraceful. Will they ask employees who drink numerous amounts of tea and coffee each day to also clock in and out? I don't think so. Well, thanks for all your comments, and if you want to get in touch, you can call or email us in the usual way. Stuart.
Thank you very much indeed.
All this week we're counting down to the Commonwealth Games, which start this weekend in Delhi.
About 50 people from this region are taking part, including the shooter Mick Gault. He's already Britain's most successful Commonwealth athlete, but in the next few weeks he could become the most successful Commonwealth athlete in the world.
He is the ultimate medallion man. With 15 medals around his neck, Norfolk's top gun is already Britain's most successful Commonwealth athlete. If he gets another 3 in Delhi, he'll be the most successful in the history of the Games. Better get his eyes tested then.
Hi, Mick Gault for an eye test.
Lovely. Would you like to take a seat, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You need a steady hand for sharp shooting and good eyes. That's why Mick looks after them with regular checkups.
OK, if you look sort of to the where you think the number 3 is.
Well, I'm getting on a bit, and as everybody, their eyes tend to obviously I'm wearing the glasses, obviously tend to get a little bit worn. My shooting is getting better and better. I've been doing more training, more physically fit than I ever was. I got my weight down a little, and I'm really up for this.
This will be Mick's 5th Games and probably the last, though never say never. The man with the golden gun has roughed it plenty of times in his career, so he's not fussed about reports that conditions in the village are not quite that of the Dorchester.
I am certain that Team England would not put me in harm's way. My main concern is the mosquitoes.
Mick is in line for 8 medals. Just 3 would take him into the shooting stratosphere. In most sports, adrenaline is good, essential even. In shooting, it's the enemy. That's why he's playing it cool. A picture of serenity.
G-O-L-D.
Sean Peel, BBC Look East.
Good joke.
And tomorrow on Look East, we'll be looking at England's hockey team. 5 players from this region are in the 16-man squad in Delhi.
Now, there's nothing quite like a boy band to make the heart flutter and the pulses. I've got your script.
Is that for you?
No, so. Must be yours, Sean.
He's all of a flutter, aren't you? Hundreds of fans have been in Milton Keynes today to catch a glimpse of JLS. The band, who are up for Best Album and Best UK Act at the MOBO Awards, have been launching their new book.
Screams in Milton Keynes. Horror? No, heaven, if you're a fan of...
What am I Aston?
You only get one shot!
My name's Orisha.
Put your hands up, everybody in love!
Hi everyone, it's Marvin. Hello everybody, I'm JD.
They queued, they rushed, they screamed even more.
You're right at the front of the queue. How excited are you?
JLS X Factor finalists signing a fair few books in MK.
It's amazing, you know, we don't get to come down, Milton Keynes, too often, so the fact that we're here is great to see all our fans that we don't get to see on an everyday basis.
It's been fun, you know, the first thing that we were told at the X Factor is obviously if this career goes any further, enjoy it, enjoy every minute and, you know, stay true to each other and just literally, you know, just enjoy it every day, and that's what we try to do. I think we have, you know, and today's obviously going to be no different, as you can hear.
Your album, it's going to go head-to-head probably with Take That.
We've just been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years now. You know, we're on our 2nd album and Take That are on, I don't know how many albums, and they've sold how many millions of albums, and they've got 20 years behind their, you know, under their belts.
How's it feel being that close to them?
It's amazing.
You're actually crying? Is it that exciting?
Best experience ever.
Really? Best day ever? No? Do you need a paramedic?
I need a hospital bed now, please. I love it so much. Last time made me a kiss on the cheek.
Kissed you on the cheek? Are you ever going to wash it again?
Never.
They've had number ones, they're up for awards. A band that leaves your ears ringing. My Car Tribe, BBC Look East, Milton Keynes.
Isn't it amazing the noise teenage girls can make on that?
And the tears.
The emotions, too much.
They're nice boys though, aren't they?
Very nice, yes.
Yeah, we like them. Are we going to like the weather?
Well, I'm afraid you're probably not going to like the weather. It's been